I'm Angela Ward, and I'm bringing you inside access to innovators and thought leaders that are shaping our area. Asking questions that put issues first and politics second. This is Game Changers. I am interviewing Stacey Abrams, the Georgia Democratic candidate for governor. Tax reform. Ms. Abrams. The new tax reform laws are designed to bring more money and opportunity to our citizens. The growth rate for the economy is estimated to boost GDP 0.8 percentage points over the first 10 years. The deficit is estimated to grow by 1.5 trillion over the next 10 years. What are your views on tax reform?
I think as a general matter in the state of Georgia, we have properly and thoughtfully approached tax policy. We've been able to maintain a AAA bond rating in part because we have a stable tax base. My mission is to make sure that we put money into the hands of Georgians. And I'm very skeptical of any idea that doesn't achieve that purpose. And so I'm watching the national tax reform legislation with a very careful eye because I want to make sure we're actually helping working families and middle-class families grow. And we're not simply diverting funds away from critical needs like healthcare and education. And so while I believe that we should always continue to evaluate our tax base, I want to make sure that the choices we make are the right choices for all of Georgia.
Okay. So let's touch on marijuana legalization in Georgia. 77% of Georgians that participated in the University of Georgia School of Public and International Affairs survey thought that the state's medical marijuana laws should be expanded. Those polled voted 50% to 46% in favor of legalizing it for recreational use. With public opinion shifting in the federal government considering removing it from Schedule I status and the tax benefits of legalization, how do you view this issue?
I firmly support legalization of medical marijuana and cultivation of medical marijuana in state. I am proud to have been one of the supporters of that legislation in the House. And as governor, I will work to make certain that we remove the decision-making about health care from legislators and put it in the hands of doctors. That's why I want us to fully legalize medical marijuana, because right now, even though it's legal in our state, you have to travel out of state to have access. And that's not a solution to the problem. I'm also very open to the conversation about legalizing recreational marijuana, beginning with decriminalization of possession of small amounts. But I think we also have to think through making sure that we have the right pieces in place for our substance abuse treatment needs in the state of Georgia. Marijuana has a different effect on different people, and we need to make certain that before we have a conversation about full legalization of recreational marijuana, that we've thought through how we provide support, the tax base, and do the work of making sure that it can happen in Georgia.
And do you feel that the evaluation needs to be per person for them to be evaluated?
No. I don't think it has to be an individual evaluation. I do think, however, that Georgia has been woefully behind on building out a statewide network of access to substance abuse treatment. And as the governor, I intend to expand access to Medicaid because that's one of the ways we can guarantee that anyone for whom this becomes a gateway drug has access to the services they need. I think we have to be very careful to make sure that before we push for full legalization, that we've thought through all of the issues connected to it. I know other states have done this work. Georgia, unfortunately, is not yet, but as the next governor, I want us to make sure that we're evaluating how we not only fully legalize medical marijuana, but move towards a conversation of recreational marijuana.
If you are elected, you will represent everyone in Georgia. How do you communicate your platform to non-educated rural white Georgians to win their vote?
I believe in talking to every single Georgian. As Democratic leader for 8 years, I traveled this state having conversations because my job was to represent 60 members, and they represented communities from as far north as Catoosa and as far south as Valdosta. But I know this. Every Georgian wants to make sure that they can educate their children from cradle to career. I know that they all want to have good paying jobs in a diverse economy in all 159 counties. And I know they want an effective and engaged leader who's going to make sure they have access to affordable health care, access to rural broadband, access to transit and transportation options. And they want a governor who sees all of Georgia and refuses to legalize discrimination against any Georgian. It doesn't matter who you are or where you live. You want a better life for yourself. And my mission is to make sure that every Georgian has the freedom and the opportunity to thrive. And I'm proud that my message resonated so effectively in the primary that I won 76% of the vote, 153 out of 159 counties. Diverse counties across the state all understood that my message is for every Georgian.
Thank you so much, Ms. Abrams, for interviewing with me.